Hi, my name is Felicia Woods. I have the Lunar Project Critical Thinking 101. Um, my topic is number 4 with the administration. The topic of teachers and administration addressing identifying challenging transgenders facing issues with number 1, bathroom and locker room access, number 2, dress code, number 3, anti-bullying or anti-harassment policies. Being a teacher or administrator at a school where transgender individuals attend, the administration should show a child respect in our care. First subject, address bathroom and locker room access. Every student should have an open-minded chance to succeed in school, but many transgender students face hostility, discrimination, and bullying, including when it comes to choosing by using the restroom. Many schools in our nation have worked with transgender and non-transgender students and their parents who develop policies that ensure everyone's safety learning environment. These policies have assured that transgender students can fully participate and succeed in school to graduate with their classmates. Quote from Luna, so she takes this bus to the library because she knows there's a unisex bathroom there where she can change. Challengers of law, policies, and protecting transgender students often claim that these policies put other students' safety and privacy at risk. However, school officials who have realized or overseen these policies have found that these claims are unsupported issues. Transgender students and children, like our children, have the best chance to thrive when they are supported and can get the health care they need. Being a kid is hard enough. We don't need to be seen harder to kids who are transgender. We need to make sure they have our support. Most of the time, should teachers
Do this. Take one.
Tape one. How did you feel when I first told you I was a girl?
I felt scared because I already knew in my heart. Who's your favorite superhero and why?
Wonder Woman. Because she's kind-hearted.
When do you feel the most brave?
Well, when somebody is very mean to my little brother, then I start to get angry and then get brave because I know they won't hurt me because I'm protecting my little brother. When are you the most worried about me?
When the political atmosphere starts ramping up against transgender people, or when I hear about another transgender woman being hurt. Do you ever feel scared about being transgender?
No.
Do you ever feel like other people don't understand what it is to be transgender? Is there ever a time when someone treated you differently because you're transgender?
Yes, at my old school back in Houston.
How were they treating you differently?
Because I was never allowed to go to the girls' bathroom. They would just make me go to a random bathroom that was supposed to be for all the students. And there was even a sign saying for all students. And my teacher might only let the girls go there, so I would feel like it was the proper bathroom for me, but the thing was I would always have accidents because the door always locked.
So how is Austin ISD different?
I think they call me by my correct name and they let me go to the correct bathroom, and it makes me feel happy.
Comparing to Luna teacher and administration reaction to the transition with how other teachers and administration have responded. Quote from Luna book. Every seminar I deliberately avoid taking classes taught by teachers Lim have had since he was like their wonder kid. In this passage and quote, comparing how to react with one teacher experience at Luna School, he connected Lim and his sister Reagan as family, thinking she was as smart as her brother Lim. Therefore, Reagan felt she could not live up to Lim's footsteps on how smart he is too much for her to handle daily. As teachers and administration, comparing the reaction is something like comparing brothers and sisters is as hard comparing their character as male and female. Students have feelings and you do not want to make a mistake of any student feeling some kind of way about you and your classroom. Here's a layout talking about what right wing group says about what happened if states implement laws and protecting transgender people from discrimination. One of them, the statement says laws would be abused and employed by sexual predators. Another one would say sexual predators would have legalistic accesses to women's restrooms. There's different quotes here from different states and what they think about transgender people being discriminated. Second subject, dress code. Students may enforce dress code under district policy. However, the administration may not achieve dress code based on gender or gender stereotypes. Students shall have the right to dress pre their gender identity and expression, including maintaining a gender neutral appearance within the school dress code compliance. School staff shall not enforce a school dress code more strictly against transgender or gender nonconforming students than other students. The dress code cross-gender dressing is not only limited to high school students. There were stories of old students were entering kindergarten as girl, although the child is genitally male. The student diagnosis with genital dysphasia has the school system supporting as she explored the elementary school uncertain waters as a transgender student. Here's a quote from Luna. Here's a cross-dresser. No, God, don't call him that. My face burned. It's not the same. Lim dressing because he wants you to see what he sees on his inside, his true identity. Luna. There are kinds of psychological mumbo jumbo and names from this stuff. Darfarsis general identity disorder. I don't know. She can explain it better than me. Some more dress code quotes from Luna. As if reading me, Liam says, I won't put you through that again. I'm not going to dress at school anymore. It's enough to know that I can. I don't individually relish the thought of getting pounded into a pulp every day. I'll drop you off if you want. Another quote, you're not leaving the house dressed like that. You look like a clown. Go downstairs and change. Luna spun frustrated, or she was frustrated, and said, no, this is who I am. This is how I choose to live the rest of my life. Liam had a problem with trying to let his parents know how he really personally feel about his identity. He had enough and he wanted to express it. Continued dress code. Although such circumstances are not common, recent data suggests that students required for acceptance the code of accommodating cross-gender dressing are on the rise, with over 4,000 gay straight allies clubs currently in place at high schools throughout the country. We can only expect that students' requests for acceptance to school dress code will increase as students become more aware of these issues, Fisher Phillips. As a result, taking a look at different institutes and authorizing students to cross-dress, you must take all necessary measures to prevent harassment, discrimination, and rebellions against the gays, the lesbians, or transgender pupils, but fellow students, teachers, and administrators as part of the policy system. Any investigation concerning school dress code policies should take all their problems into account and at least assure that all forms of discrimination and harassment are prohibited. How should teachers and administration address the dress code issues surrounding transgender individuals in school? You have the right to dress and grant yourself according to the gender and identity. This includes how to dress at school, every day, and for dances and graduation and other schools events. You need to follow general dress code rules to apply to all students, but your school has to let you know these rules in a way that matches your gender identity. Research showed that in the 19th century, both boys and girls often wore dresses and long hair until they were 7. When I was in school in the 80s, at the time, boys and girls that wore pink indeed did not reflect how they were recognized. Now, many schools are willing to work with transgender students to find a solution once they understand what is going on. As an administrator myself, we have the right to treat students according to your gender identity. They also have the right to be called students by their name, a pronoun, and words that matches their gender identity. Subject 3, anti-bullying or harassment policies. School administration shall assure that all personal identification, classified medical information related to transgender or gender non-conforming students shall be kept confidentially following applicable state laws and Federal Privacy Act. The transgender or gender non-conforming students have the right to discuss openly and reveal their gender identity and express and decide when or with whom and how much to share private information. As a result, the student chooses to use a different name, the transition at school, or disclose any transgender standings. The staff or other students does not approve school staff to admit a student's identity, classified or medical information. You have the right not to remain bullied or harassed because you are transgender or gender nonconformation. If school administration knows that you're being bullied or harassed, they have to take action to end it. Here are some quotes from Luna project book. Once in the first grade, when the bully on the playground kept chasing me and pulling my hair, Liam came over and socked him in the face. That was the only time he ever hit another person in his life. Quote 2, fag. My ears burn. Luna spun furious. Hey fag. Quote 3, freaking fag pervert. I turned to see Hort reach out and smack Liam's shoulder. He slammed him into the rail. Luna. Harassing can affect students academically, as some LBG youth have difficulty concentrating in class and focusing on schoolwork, and students may emotionally or physically distance them from school. Again, you have the right not to remain bullied or harassed because you are transgender and gender nonconform. In school administration know that you have been bullied and harassed. They have to take action and end it. How should teachers and administration address the issue about anti-bullying and anti-harassment transgendered individuals in school? Although administration should handle the issue by not exposing any information that may result a student's transgender status in others, including parents and guardians and other school staff, unless legally requested to do so or unless the student has authorized such disclosure. The administration subject address transgender in school systems. Its need to ensure that all students have safe environment. The purpose of this policy needs to be clear to all staff as well as students. We need to have adapted an environment, educational environment, that is secure, welcoming, free from disgrace and separation from all students, regardless of gender, identity, or illusion. The administration shall follow the local and state and federal laws concerning bullying, harassment policies, and discrimination. The last major assure that all students have the opportunity to express themselves and live authentically. Besides to be unsettling for the child, verbal harassment and physical violence creates an environment where students feel unsafe. Here's a short promo video explaining and showing the reason why.
No promo homo laws are on the books in 8 U.S. states. These laws restrict how teachers can talk about LGBT issues in the classroom. Arizona forbids portraying homosexuality as a positive alternative lifestyle and bans teaching safe methods of homosexual sex. Alabama schools must teach that homosexuality is not a lifestyle acceptable to the general public. Utah's law prohibits the advocacy of homosexuality in schools. It's also the first state where a no promo homo law is being challenged in court. We spoke to teachers, students, and parents there.
Many teachers, because the law is vague, understand it as a gag rule, meaning they can't say anything about homosexuality at all. And what that means is that a lot of teachers aren't actually fulfilling their responsibility to keep children safe because they don't think they can intervene in anti-gay behavior.
No promo homo does affect how they deal with bullying in the classroom or even in the hallways, just because they think that they can't even talk about it in school. Last year, it was like pretty much every day. It was like, oh, you're such a queer, you're such a fag. I got pushed into walls and called like a gay or a fag.
They can't be safe because they have very few people to talk to. And until we get rid of laws like no promo homo, they're not safe.
The biggest bullying issues are centered around LGBTQ issues. And right now, we don't have the tools or the ability or the freedom to be able to have the discussions that we need to have.
These laws keep kids from learning the basics of sexuality and safe sex in health class.
When I went into 10th grade health with the knowledge of I'm bisexual, the entire thing was, oh, hey, men and women go together. Girls and boys are going to have sex. That's how it is.
The no promo homo law originally was designed to only apply to health and sex ed classes. But we're seeing the effects of no promo homo in history classes, in English classes, etc.
For an assignment on family history, Josh tried to do a presentation about his uncle, who's gay, but his teacher wouldn't allow it.
She was just saying like, we can't talk about that. Like, gay is not something that we can actually talk about. So it was kind of hard for me because it was like, that's my family and I'm gay. And if I can't talk about my family members, then how am I supposed to?
As a Christian, I shall love them as Christ loved the church. And that is my commission in this life I live. I am always a person who's ready to listen to them and seek to understand their pains and sincerely desire what the best for them. Compassion and self-respect for diverse individuals are not intent with disagreeing with transgenderism as a social movement. When someone modifies one's appearance, cosmetically or surgically, cannot improve the underlying reality of a person's biological makeup. The thinking of the mind cannot override the fact of a person's biological maker. The transgender transformation demands that we believe falsehood about human nature. The truth and the falsehood have never been a matter of majority vote because we know that there is a creator who has the authority to decide and state what is right or wrong. If being a man or a woman is determined by someone's mind or will, it means that there's no such thing as true maleness or femaleness, both because just a constructed basis on culture stereotype. We would be unable to tell a young boy that he's a boy. We would be unable to report to a young girl that her father's unique response to her as a father is anything objective or real. Therefore, when anyone erased the biological significance of our maleness and femaleness, destroying the script that God knitted into human existence for how the sexes interact with one another, and how a child knows the difference between a mother and a father. The transgender debate is ripped with controversy. Holding a biblical conversation in this debate means that individuals will find themselves in disagreement with their friends and families and co-workers, and that however we express ourselves, we will be accused of being haters, bigots, or worse. We have some religious groups stand on transgender exclusion. We have some that stand with the exclusion. We have some that stand with no official statement about the exclusion. We have mixed position with no official position, and we have stated barriers to the exclusion. At a time like this, Christians need to have the courage to defend a real vision for human flourishing based on biblical understanding of being made in His image. Since God made us, He gets the ultimate say in who we are. Thank you.